cell phone to please turn them off or put them in the vibrating position. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Your Honor, I move that the minutes of November 10th, 2014 and November 18th, 2014 be accepted as written.
Second.
It's been regularly moved and seconded that the minutes of November 10th, 2014 and November 18th, 2014 be accepted as written. Roll call.
Mr. Metcalf?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Villeneuve?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Herzog?
Aye.
So moved, minutes accepted. Petitions and communications, Madam Clerk.
No, Missy.
Mr. Davis.
Yes, Your Honor, I move that the rule requiring ordinances and resolutions to be read in their entirety be suspended, and all ordinances and resolutions be read by caption only.
Second.
It's been regularly moved and seconded that the rules governing ordinances and resolutions be read in their entirety be suspended, and all ordinances and resolutions be read by caption only. Roll call.
Mr. Metcalf?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Villeneuve?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Herzog?
Aye.
So moved, rules suspended. Ordinance number 2014-137 by the Service Committee, Mr. Metcalf, Mr. Dioretto, Mr. Paul, for its first reading.
Ordinance number 2014-137, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation for the State Route 7 and University Boulevard intersection improvement project, J-7-17.29 PID 81314, and perform all necessary functions that may be required to complete said project.
You heard the first reading of ordinance number 2014-137. Its second reading will be held on December 9th. And I have a question for the members of council. If you like, since we're having a special meeting on December 16th, we can consider the third and final reading of ordinance number 2014-137. If not, it will be then scheduled for January 6th. If the wishes of the committee, Mr. Metcalf, or the chairman, would you like it included on the December 16th agenda?
Moving it up, I mean, I don't see an issue with it in a sense because we know what this is about with the improvement project that's going to go along with BHA. I'd like to ask the law director's opinion if we can.
If you're going to move it up, I'd take a vote of the members of the council. I'd take a
I mean, but based off of the sunshine laws and stuff, are we able to move it up? Because it's a special meeting is going to be directed towards the final budget, final permanent budget, where we can add this item to it. Then, at this point, I will make that motion, Your Honor. I apologize. I will make that motion, Your Honor, that we go ahead and on the 16th special meeting include this in as the second piece of legislation as well.
Second.
It's been really moved and seconded that the special meeting that will be called for December 16th will consider ordinance number 2014-137 for its third and final reading. Roll call.
Mr. Metcalf?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Villeneuve?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Herzog?
Aye.
So moved, motion carried. Ordinance number 2014-137, third and final reading is now scheduled at the special meeting scheduled for December 16th. Moving on to ordinance number 2014-138 by the Finance Committee, Mr. Metcalf, Mr. Davis, Mr. Johnson.
Ordinance number 2014-138, an ordinance amending ordinance number 2014-75, the existing table of organization of the city of Steubenville and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Metcalf.
Mr. Honor, I make a motion that the rule requiring an ordinance to be read on three separate occasions be suspended. Ordinance number 2014-138 be given a second and third reading this evening for its progress passing or rejection.
Second.
It's been regularly moved and seconded that the rules granting ordinance be read on 3 separate occasions be suspended in ordinance number 2014-138 be given its second and third reading for its wise passage or rejection. Roll call.
Mr. Metcalf?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Romagna?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
No.
Ms. Berthold?
Aye.
So moved. Motion carried. Ordinance number 2014-138.
Ordinance number 2014-138, an ordinance amending ordinance number 2014-75, the existing table of organization of the city of Steubenville and declaring an emergency.
You heard the reading of ordinance number 2014-138. Is there anyone wishing to speak on it? Please come forward, state their name and address.
Just why?
Please state your name and address.
John Massey, 567 Brayberry. Why reduce the plumbing inspector from full-time to part-time? That's what this change is, I believe.
That is correct.
So why are you doing it?
Mr. Shanley is retiring,
Okay,
and it was the recommendation of the health board that we put him in a part-time position, or that position a part-time position.
okay.
It's a cost-saving measures also, obviously, to the city. Is there anyone else wishing to speak on ordinance number 2014-138? Please come forward, state your name and address. Mr. Bill Mack.
Just a clarification, because when we talked about this, this is just a temporary thing, because part of the problem is there's nobody that's available to do this.
Qualified.
Yeah, there's nobody qualified to do this. That's why we're kind of like in a bind to have this guy here. There's nobody qualified to be this building inspector, except plumbing inspector, I'm sorry.
I assume you're
Plumbing
advertising.
inspector from Columbia, and the only person available is from Columbia County, if it's clear to me, at $35 an hour or whatever it is.
Mr. Bill Mack, if you don't mind, we'll have our health commissioner explain
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
thought process. Thank you, Mr. Bill Magna.
Currently in the state of Ohio, there's only 200 plumbing inspectors. So with that being said, and the turnover being so short, John has said that he will come back on a part-time basis. He will be working the max 30 hours per week. With that being said, he has been here for extended period of time, so he did have a lot of vacation, so we're not really losing that many hours per week. And then also with that being said, he is working on a manual, and he has agreed to hopefully think of someone that he feels would take on the plumbing inspector role and hopefully go on and take the test. Currently, there's not a lot of people taking the test. The test is expensive and it's very hard to pass. There was someone in the area that has taken it and they weren't able to pass it. So due to the limited amount of people that are willing to take the test, because of the position and the pay of the position, a lot of people are just being plumbers because they're younger and you get paid more. So with that being said, for the current time being, this is the only thing the board agreed that this would be the best solution. But in the meantime, he is working on a manual and he does plan on working and mentoring someone to take over his position.
And also, if I understood correctly, this test, he's going to be giving tests out. When he gives this test, it's like $50 registration. That money comes all straight to the city. So
Yes.
he's going to be making money for it.
Yes, he's also doing a journeyman's test in Cambridge, Ohio in December. So he does that on his own free time. It's no cost to the city for him to drive up there. And he does get $50 per test, and 16 people are scheduled to take the test. So he is doing things outside to bring money into the city. So at this point in time, he's doing the most that he can, and he's trying to help us out during this situation. So at this point in time, that's the best we could do to benefit the city and not pay more.
Without benefits that he would receive. Also, to look at the fuller picture, Gene Poole retired from the county health department as a plumbing inspector, and Mr. Shanley will, although there's not a formal written agreement, will be on call for the county services that will reimburse the city as that part-time too. Is there any other member of council wishing to speak on ordinance number 2014-138?
Question.
Roll call.
Mr. Metcalf?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
No.
Ms. Kurtolo?
Aye.
So moved. Ordinance number 2014-138 duly adopted. Ordinance number 2014-139 by the Service Committee, Mr. Metcalf, Mr. Fioretto, Mr. Paul.
Ordinance number 2014-139, an ordinance waiving formal bidding requirements and directing the city manager to enter into a contract with Fort Steuben Maintenance in an amount of $80,694.50 for the city of Steubenville Scioto Drive Emergency Water Line Replacement, City Project number 2014-141, authorizing payment thereof and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Metcalf.
Mr. Honor, I make a motion that the rule requiring ordinance be read on 3 separate occasions. And ordinance number 2014-139 be given its second and third reading this evening for its finalist passage or rejection.
Second.
It's been regularly moved and seconded that the rules governing ordinance be read on 3 separate occasions be suspended, and ordinance number 2014-139 be given its second and third reading for its wise passage or rejection. Roll call.
Mr. Metcalf?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kurtolo?
Aye.
So moved. Rules suspended. Ordinance number 2014-139.
Ordinance number 2014-139, an ordinance waiving formal bidding requirements and directing the city manager to enter into a contract with Fort Steuben Maintenance in an amount of $80,694.50 for the city of Steubenville Scioto Drive Emergency Water Line Replacement, City Project number 2014-141, authorizing payment thereof and declaring an emergency.
You heard the reading of ordinance number 2014-139. Is there anyone wishing to speak on it? Please come forward, state their name and address. If not, members of council,
Question.
roll call.
Mr. Metcalf?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kurtolo?
Aye.
So moved. Ordinance number 2014-139 duly adopted. That will conclude the ordinances and resolutions before City Council this evening. We will now move into the report of committees, and we'll start off with Mr. Metcalf.
Committee report, John.
Thank you, Mr. Metcalf. Mr. Paul?
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Mr. Bill Magna?
Nothing, Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Bill Magna. Mr. Davis?
I have nothing to do, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Mr. Fioretto?
No report.
Thank you, Mr. Fioretto. Mr. Johnson?
No report.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Ms. Turtle?
I would like to say something. I'm almost out of here. I just want to remind everyone that next Tuesday at 5 to 7 will be the city's light-up night across the street at the fort. And I cannot even begin to say, once you say I need help, how much help comes out in the city of Steubenville. It's been overwhelming. So we're going to have a great time. Thank you to advance to everyone who has donated, participated, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And if anybody wants to help with set up, we'll be there at 4 p.m. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you, Ms. Turtle. I think we should recognize the chair of the beautification, Jackie Hines.
She's going to be mad at you for that. Jackie Hines is the chair of the beautification committee, and we have several people who are members of the beautification committee here tonight. So they have been working very hard on getting Light Up Night all together. And Ms. Sweeney is sewing things for the door prizes. I'm sorry. Let me tell you really quick. There are a lot of door prizes that people have donated, and I mean unbelievable. $50 gas cards, unbelievable. So we're going to have a great time next week. So please come out.
And of course, you have a lot of sponsors of the event,
Yes.
the Historic Fort Steuben and the Steubenville Revitalization Committee, and there are people, businesses, Plain Jane's, Two Brothers, Freight's Classic Corner, M&M Hardware, the Urban Underground participating, and of course, we're looking forward to both homecoming queens that will be in attendance from Steubenville High School and Catholic Central High School. So we encourage everybody to attend and get into the spirit of the holidays. That will now conclude the reports of the committees. And talking about the spirit of the holidays, I do want to take this opportunity to extend Thanksgiving greetings to all the citizens of the city of Steubenville. If you reflect back on this prior year, We have a lot to be thankful for in our community, and this is now the season to give that thanks. So we ask everyone to enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday and don't eat too much turkey. With that, we will move on to our city manager, Mr. Bowles.
Thank you, Your Honor. Three things that I wanted to bring to our citizens' attention and council this evening. First item is that the first phase of the improvements to the Bellevue Clubhouse are nearing completion, and I can say, I don't know if anyone's had an opportunity to go over to the clubhouse. It's been, I think, a project of great value. It's made a tremendous impact. I will be talking to Mary Beth next week about being able to open it up, make certain get people over there. I'd really like the opportunity, or at least give the opportunity to council and the public to see the investment that we've made in that facility. So I'm very pleased with the progress of that project. Two items next week of, I think, significant importance. The final draft budget, I'll be working with Director Williams on putting that together. We do want to get out information to council late next week in preparation of the meeting on December 9th. Seems like a long way away, but it isn't, and we will get that information out to you shortly. And one of the things that I anticipate will provide council is an overview of some of the major initiatives and expenditures and costs, and try to make that as clear as possible for you. And certainly we appreciate any questions or requests for explanation on any items that we've gone over through the budget hearings. And we are kind of coming down to the ninth inning on the budget, so we want to make certain we get out all the information that council will need for that decision. And then lastly, I anticipate a healthcare committee meeting next week. We should get the report. As council will remember, we went out for a health insurance broker. We selected Ohio Insurance Services. They have been working on our behalf, and we anticipate looking at the results of their work next week and what our options are and how we can make the wisest decision on healthcare coverage for our employees based on what we can afford and the best coverage we can provide. So that I will be providing information on results of those meetings or that meeting to council afterwards, probably the meeting on the 9th, and we look forward to bringing that information to council. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. If there's no questions from the members of council, we'll move on to our law director, Mr. Rapella.
No report, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Rapella. There was none signing in under miscellaneous, but I do want to remind the members of council that next Tuesday evening, let alone light up night that is scheduled. We also have a safety committee meeting scheduled for 6:30. And also before our next meeting, there is a public hearing scheduled by the Steubenville Planning and Zoning Commission on two subjects. The one subject would be on ordinance number 2014-127, which is the creating the Alexander Manor Neighborhood Conservation District, and also a public hearing on December 1st here at 7 p.m. The Planning and Zoning Commission for ordinance number 2014-123, and that is a rezoning at 1907 Estelle Avenue and 1913 Estelle Avenue. Following that public hearing and the recommendations forwarded by the Planning and Zoning Commission, we have scheduled the third and final reading on both of those ordinances for December 9th. With that, we will now move into public forum. Is there anyone wishing to speak to City Council on city business? Please come forward, state your name and address.
Tree City, Carl Antonio, 407 Lawson. We've got some complaints about our trash cans. Pittsburgh and Oregon, there's a couple cans there that have been going over the top. So much so that the wind is carrying them down the trash, the litter down the street. I don't know why they're not being picked up, but it needs it. Also on Carnegie in Maryland, the barrels there on that corner are being neglected, and a barrel at Piece of Pie Park. Now, I know Piece of Pie Park is closed. I don't know if you want the barrel there or not, but it is being used by bystander, folks that drive by or what have you. We could keep it there, or we could move it somewhere else if it's a problem. Yeah, they need picked up.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to City Council on city business? Please come forward, state your name and address.
Your Honor and council people, my name is Christina Work and I reside at 826 Lincoln Avenue. The reason I am here today is I would like to recommend that our local law enforcement policies and procedures be reviewed. That is due to the fact that my home was broken into a couple of weeks ago, and when the police arrived on the scene, we were told that a detective would arrive on Monday to start an investigation. Your Honor and council folks, I wasn't aware that crime was only committed on Monday through Friday and from 9 to 5, sir. I didn't understand that response. A detective arrived on the scene on Monday, did not take prints until Wednesday. He himself said that he should have been called. A weapon was stolen from my home, which constitutes a felony. Due to the simple fact that we had some weather at that time, we were told that the fingerprints were not going to be in a good shape to be able to get any information from that. My question was, I didn't understand why somebody wasn't there on Friday evening to take those fingerprints before the crime scene was disturbed and or otherwise. As I said, I'd like to propose that our local law enforcement policies and procedures please be reviewed and, if possible, be changed to better serve the citizens of Steubenville. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to City Council on city business? Please come forward, state their name and address.
My name is Mark Nelson, live at 272 County Road 26 here in Steubenville. Most of what I have to say really pertains to the meeting beforehand, the economic development meeting, which I thought was actually one of the most productive of those meetings that have been held for the last 4 or 5 months. With the plans going ahead, the Grant School area down there is of great concern to me that it be spent and thought of wisely. And I think the challenge for this council is to really determine the best use of that city-owned property. If you threw a for sale sign on it today, it'd be sold tomorrow. If you offered it to any trucking company in eastern Ohio with Utica Play, it'd be full tomorrow. The city would be making money, but would it be the best use of space? Would it create the jobs that it has the potential for? And so that could be either office space, a hotel convention center. Could it be blocked together with some of the lands behind it across the alley, vacate the alley, turn it into a larger space? The downtown area, and I use that word largely because I think we all use that word largely, but there's the downtown, which is the central business district, and then there's the flat land below the hill, below the bluffs, which we all call downtown, but it's not really downtown when you're talking central business district. And I think we need to be careful to guard our central business district as we look for growth and protect and think the long-term plan of what could that property, particularly Grant School, because it is one of the largest open blocks available downtown right now. I think another thing needs to be determined is actually what is the value of land downtown. Is it $25,000 a city lot? Is it 50 grand a lot? Oil and gas people approached me 2 years ago and they were surprised that it wasn't over $25,000 a lot. I think also we have to get out of the mindset that we'd be surprised if anybody was interested. Somebody came to me this week and said they were surprised why I built a beautiful home in Steubenville. Well, this is my home. It shouldn't surprise anyone that we have success here. That this is our home. That we don't go at it with a defeatist attitude, but rather why are the doors open for sale? Are the properties available and ready? Because how often do we hear people complaining that oil and gas is going all around us, but have we actually put a for sale sign out yet? Are we ready to put the for sale sign out yet? I guess are questions that all of us, citizens, council, business owners, all of us need to constantly kind of be thinking of. As far as the changing of the image or the rebranding project, I'd also say we've got to be ready. The way the lady spoke the last economic development meeting was taking everybody through a series of interviews, everybody that wanted to participate, a series of interviews to determine what were the concerns of the citizens of the community that wanted to be rebranded. We have to be ready to work on those and actually change those. So if we say it's a healthy, happy, safe environment, are we ready to make those? Are we ready to work that hard to make it that way? Because it will require a lot of work to get out of the crisis that we've been in. And also, I think, Tim, is it possible to consider the Main Street program as part of that rebranding? I wonder if they offer that as part of their program, would be another thought. And then also with the building code, especially with what you were saying, Mr. Davis, with the buildings and whatnot downtown, is there any better way for the city to help with the financial hurdles of those buildings? We heard at that Main Street program that I don't think there's that many dollars available even for short-term loans or whatever, low-interest loans right now through city programs that could help property owners. For years, they've been allowed to, through lack of code enforcement, fall into the dilapidated condition that they are. If they've been kept up over the years, we'd have fewer problems, perhaps. But really, the banks don't want to talk to you about it because it looks like a shabby old building. What kind of businesses are going to move in? The banks don't want to loan you money. It's a tricky financial situation, as even the Main Street gentleman, the Heritage Ohio gentleman spoke of, as well as the building codes being looked at in recent discussions with a certain building inspector locally. He wasn't aware of the historical chapter of the building code, which actually allows a point system to be assessed at historic buildings, and the concerns of those buildings be addressed in a different way than a new construction type of building because of the financial or the actual structural difficulties in bringing it up. And so I think it's important for our building department to also be on their toes with that as far as how to work with historical structures in order to bring them back to life. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to city council on city business? Please come forward, state their name and address.
Yes, Rick Yinch, 1301 Oregon Avenue. First, in the newspaper the other day was a nice article, and I want to compliment Mr. Greg Metcalf for saying we're needing a better looking community. And Mr. Baird's not here, but Bob also said in the paper that his area of responsibility wants to do what's best for our city. And then to pick up on that, with Teresa D. Carl Antonio said about some barrels and trash, and that's an issue on some parts of the city. And also to compliment Yonk and Mr. Davis about getting our city clean and cleaner image. I think it's a real important part that the future of our city get a positive image, and it's going to take some work and time. But I think there's a lot of citizens waiting for some leadership to come across this way, a more positive way. So thank you, Yonk and Mr. Davis, for thinking like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to city council on city business? Please come forward, state your name and address.
Tom Massey, 567 Braeburn. I just have a question. Is the city leaf collection completed yet, or is it still going on?
They were in my neighborhood today, so I saw them.
Well, I know they were up in my neighborhood last week, but there are a lot of homes where leaves have been put back into the street again. And they're piled up on Sunset Boulevard by Jim Everling's place, and I think under the underpass, where because of this wind we've had. I'm just wondering, is it completed, or are we going back around and pick up leaves again?
I saw now.
Tim?
Your Honor,
Mr. Bowen?
I can't see. No, it's ongoing right now, and if any citizens has questions, they can, I'd invite them to, or concerns, contact the M&R department or me. And if, I know Bob Barrett had mentioned that we're going to be continuing for a little while here, not too much longer. So, but if there's a need, we certainly will assess that and do what we can to clean this up.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak to city council or city business? Please come forward, state their name and address. If not, Mr. Metcalf.
No further business, Your Honor, I move we adjourn.
Second.
It's been regulated in seconds that we adjourn. Roll call.
Mr. Metcalf?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Bonagna?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DeLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr.